Welcome back. Today I am going to be talking to you about my favorite author tools and resources. The first thing I want to talk about, I actually got introduced to pretty early, both because of Nanowrimo and because someone reached out to me because they wanted me to do something to help promote that service. And that service is For the Words. I actually wrote a blog post for them a while back, like less than a month before I started using their service, and they've honestly been amazing. They're super inexpensive, and I got, I think, the first 45 days free because of Nanowrimo, and then after that they were only like $4 or $5 a month. And essentially what it does is it gamifies writing, so it's been a great way to really just help keep me motivated as far as writing goes. It makes me really enjoy it more, because sometimes when I'm drafting, I get caught up in like, oh, this sentence doesn't sound good. Instead, I can look now at my draft words and see like, oh, I got so many words done and I defeated these monsters and did this quest. So it's a little bit of positive motivation for me. The second tool that I want to talk about is ProWritingAid. So it's similar to Grammarly. Basically, it checks for things like grammar errors and style errors. While my grammar is already pretty good because I worked doing proofreading and other things like that, it definitely helped me cut down on filter words and crutch words that I tend to use in my writing. As you'll probably notice, when I'm speaking, I use words like so a lot. This definitely has saved me a lot of time and money when it comes to things like line editing. It's really helpful for that. I definitely wouldn't try to replace your proofreader with it because it's not infallible. And a couple of times Grammarly and ProWritingAid have added in errors where there weren't any, so just be careful with that. Use your best judgment. Don't blindly trust the tool. The next thing that I haven't personally used, but I know it's an amazing software, and one of my friends uses it, and she helped me format my last short story with it, is Volume. Now, unfortunately, if you do not have a Mac, you will need what's called like kind of like an emulator for your PC, and that costs, I want to say, $20 or $30 a month. I'll find the link for it and post it down below for you. But essentially what Volume does is it helps to format your book, so that way you're not paying $200, $300 for print formatting every time, and then another $50 or so for ebook formatting every time. If you aren't able to get Volume, I would recommend maybe just like seeing if you can find someone on Fiverr that does the Volume formatting and have them do that. But it worked pretty well. I had War of the Twin Swords formatted that way, and it looks super nice, so I was very happy with how that turned out. And the next resource that I'm going to mention, the next tool, is 20 Books of Decay. They've had all these amazing 5-minute focus videos in the group, as well as multitudes of other resources to really help indie authors. Plus, it's just really inspirational, so it's also kind of my inspiration to keep writing as well. It's a good inspirational tool. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is more about the physical events, which obviously right now those aren't super popular, but some of the services they offer have been really important anyway. Mostly, I would say right now I'm using them for bookmarks, but in the past I also used them for banners. I used Vistaprint, which was a little bit pricier, but they were really good quality. And then the other option, if you're able to design your own, would be 4over4. I haven't found any more inexpensive services. Most of the ones I found that were inexpensive for the lower quality options, but if you wanted like the really high quality, glossy, thick kinds kinds of materials, it was just more expensive. So if I find anything that's less expensive, I'll talk about that too, but right now I've mostly just been using Vistaprint and 4/4, although I do know that Canva now is doing this sort of service as well. And I design all of my stuff on there, so I might try them and see how that works. And the next resource, if you're here, you're probably already familiar with it, Authortube. I definitely watch a lot of videos on Authortube, both for the marketing purposes and also to improve my writing, because I started out doing poetry and short fiction, so the transition to long fiction has been a little bit of a struggle for me. It definitely helped me learn to organize my thoughts a little bit better and to figure out how to do that as a discovery writer so I'm not losing my creative spark when I'm trying to write my book. And it also had some really good tips for marketing when I didn't know where to start. I've especially liked the tips that I saw on Mandy Lynn's channel and on Bethany's channel. And I also like to use Skillshare for videos. I know a lot of Authortubers and Booktubers have coupon codes and things like that, so you can get a few months free. So I would highly recommend taking advantage of that. I did, and was able to get through several videos on marketing, videos on show don't tell, and additionally I was able to get through a few videos on characters as well. And I felt like it was super helpful for me personally. And it had some of the content creators that I was already familiar with, but with more exclusive content. The next resource I'm going to talk about is also an Authortuber, but in addition to being an Authortuber, she also has a really amazing newsletter that has additional resources that have been super helpful. And she has a course for self-published authors. So I would definitely recommend her course. It's not open right now. I got in just before the closing time for the Publish and Thrive class, but whenever it is reopened, I would definitely recommend it. It's been amazing. I would say for Hearthbreathings, I would recommend her for a lot of things, but mainly organization. That's her big thing, is organization. She's very organized. Also, she's really good with things like branding and marketing. And she even has a nice free sheet on how to edit as well, which was helpful for me in the beginning because I really had no clue what my editing process needed to look like for me. So it gave me a good starting place. And the next one I'm going to talk about is actually something that Mandy Lynn made, the book launch planner. At first, I wasn't sure if I would end up actually using it. I have a tendency to buy lots of pretty notebooks that I think I will use and lots of pretty planners that I think I will use, and then I half use them, or I use them for a week and then they go bye-bye. This one, not so much. I have been using it, and I haven't had a book launch since I bought it, but that's going to change very soon because I am about to send my second book, Gabriel is Cursed, off to the proofreader. So I am currently in the process of planning out my social media stuff. I am using this to decide who's going to be doing what and tracking my expenses somewhere other than various Word documents and using credit card statements. So this is a good way for me to just keep everything organized, because right before I got this, I was keeping everything on my blog or in a Word document or in like 20 Word documents. So this way I have all of it organized in one location, and it even has a nice little handy table of contents at the front, if I can show you without dropping everything. We're just gonna remove these. There we go. Nice little handy table of contents, if it will focus. Focus. I tried. Semi-focused. But you get the idea. It has a nice little handy table of contents, which has been really helpful. And you don't have to use it for 2020, because the way it's designed is you can write in the days and the month. And it even has little stickers, which is awesome. And some social media stickers. but I already have some bookstore contacts in there. And one more tool I want to talk about is Canva and BookBrush specifically. I would definitely say that both of them have been awesome. BookBrush, I like their idea with the 3D covers that they produce for you. They're super easy to make. And I like that I'm able to get like a little audiobook cover, but I would say that's pretty much the only feature I use for them now. I've had a lot of issues with things not downloading correctly from them, where the transparency comes out a little bit weird lately. Before that, I was using them a lot, but lately I've been having some technical difficulties with them. I liked using them for advertisements, specifically for Twitter, but lately I haven't been using them as much, so I don't know if I'm going to keep my membership with them. They are worth it if you have the more expensive membership, because then you can have like a person holding your book in a really easy to create format. But I think for the lower level membership, the value is kind of so-so. And the higher level membership is a bit more expensive. Like, it's out of my budget if I'm going to have Canva as well. I think it was a jump from like $7 or $8 to like $13-ish a month. Next thing I want to talk about is Canva. So Canva I definitely use more often. And here are some of the things that I've used it for. Chapter headers. I used it for the chapter headers with War of the Twin Sword. Those swords, that's from Canva. It was one of their little stock images. I've also used them for advertisements, YouTube thumbnails, Instagram posts, Twitter posts, bookmark designs. You can also use them for mug designs and a bunch of other merch designs, which is pretty cool. For now, I've been sticking to bookmarks. And you can also, I haven't personally used these features, but you can also use them to create your own covers if that's your sort of thing. I'm no good at that sort of thing, so I haven't attempted it. But it is an option. And I think it's definitely worth it for the premium membership. It's like $8 or $9 a month, something like that. And the last one I wanted to mention is Bookfunnel. I am paying for the integration, so that way I don't have to manually upload every single person that's going on to my newsletter, because I don't have time for that. But if you do it without the integration, it's a lot cheaper. And I think I'm paying month to month, so I'm paying roughly $15 a month. But if you pay yearly, it's a little bit cheaper. With the integration, I think I have the lowest one that I'm able to do with the integration, the lowest membership level. It was definitely really helpful for building my newsletter. I haven't found the sales promotion feature really helpful, so I use it to distribute ARC copies, and I also use it to get people signed up for my newsletter because I do their promotions through them. You could also use Story Origin if you prefer, but for me, my go-to has definitely been Bookfunnel. They've been awesome. But that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe to my channel down below. And let me know what are some of your favorite tools and resources as an author. That's all. Thanks. Bye.